Hello, greetings, everybody. I am Straight Jacket Jim, and I am a Streamaholic.
Hello, everybody. It's me, the Warship, and I'm a Streamaholic.
We're all Streamaholics. That is a good looking intro, you know. I always like the music in the background. It just all fits together, man. I really love it.
Yep, no, it's really, really cool. I remember Lukey put it together, and I'm like, "How did you put this together?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, no, I just threw it together with Streamlabs," and I'm like, that's why, because I don't know anything about Streamlabs at all, so that makes sense to me. How are you doing there, friend? Welcome in, everybody.
Oh, hello, everybody that's been in chat. Thank you, Bestia, for that resub. Hello, Witwit. Hello, Ariond. Hello, who else is it? Gamma is in there as well. So good to see everybody in here. It's Friday. I've got a drink because it's been a week that existed.
Well, you know, I already have a drink open, but just for the sake of like the gimmick, I have to open a second one. So now, whilst we podcast, I will double fist the Jack Daniels and zero sugar.
Nice. Well, what a coincidence. I'm drinking Jack Daniels and Pepsi Max.
Jack Daniels and extra.
That's right.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it right now. But how are you doing there, friend? Welcome.
Yes. Yeah, been doing well. I'm back for a second show of Streamaholics. Enjoyed it so much last week. I thought I'd come back again.
Yeah. I don't know where Lukey is. I think maybe dead. Who knows? You know, hopefully not. But he's still gone in the ether.
I think that's it. I think still packing. I think for his house move. I think that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
So, but he will be back. He's just taking some time off to deal with real life stuff. He is not in Warship's trunk, I think.
Maybe not. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. That being said, I have a four-wheel drive, so if he's in the trunk, at least he got some sunlight, you know? Maybe a little bit of food, a bit of drink. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't ask any more questions. Stop asking questions.
Just a little water bowl in the back, you know, with the window cracked a little bit.
Yeah, no, exactly right. So we got a whole bunch to talk about. How was your week, though? Was it a good week?
It was a pretty good week, actually. I'm trying to remember what I did. I think I got stuck into Metroid Dread. I've been loving that game so much. It is such a good game. What about yourself? What have you been up to?
We had a big week of games and things like that. Like I've been playing the Back for Blood as it's released now, like it's fully out now. I was going to say the Back for Blood beta because that's how I've been referring to what I've been playing. But no, I've been playing Back for Blood with some of the friends on the streams. That was really, really good. Honestly, it was a totally different experience for me because I'm so used to, you know, it's kind of like Streamaholics, because on Streamaholics I don't really look at the chat because it's a podcast rather than being, you know, a chat interactive experience. And I'm so used to doing that. So when I play games with friends on stream, it kind of gives me the same vibes where I'm, you know, not really able to talk to them as much to the chat unless I have push to talk and I can quickly doop, oh yeah, man, happy birthday, whatever, bloop, come back on. So it's really weird for me not to be able to interact with people in the way that I usually would, but it's fun. You know, we have good banter with the friends and we have good times. And it will all lead into that thing that I still can't talk about with anyone in the coming time. But for now, it's a really good way to kind of have a different kind of interaction. As someone who's only been streaming for a year, I've been used to one type of interaction for such a long time. So it's cool to have a different kind of interaction now and really, you know, branch that out a little bit. So, yeah, we did that. I did a bit of Valiant Hearts, which I don't know if you remember. It was like a story-based war simulator kind of game.
I was lurking in your stream and saw that. That looked pretty cool. Like it was a very sort of old schooly hand drawn sort of thing.
Yeah, really, really nice art style. It is an old game. Again, like I told you last week, like it fits my formula of looking at, you know, old content from big creators. You know, it was really big for Jacksepticeye in 2016, I think, 2017. Really big for Markiplier around that time too. And I looked at it and I'm like, man, I don't remember playing this game. I never played it, but I don't even remember really watching too much of it. I remember it being really fun and kind of deep and meaningful and, you know, an important message. So I thought, let's let's just play. Let's just see how it goes. And then ended up being really, really good. So, and then at the start of the week, we did Viscera Cleanup Detail, which is essentially Power Wash Simulator, except a few years ago, and blood and guts instead of house cleaning. And yeah, it was really interesting as well.
Colonial Marines to janitor.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's like you dropped in the middle of like Halo Reach or something after the aftermath, and you're just there with like a mop, and you're like, okay. And that's kind of been my week. So it's been a pretty cheesy, pretty breezy. Not so much cheesy anymore because the cheesels are still in boxes over there. Still 60 of them over there. I haven't touched them.
You want to share? I love cheesels. I like cheesels.
Yeah. I want to play cheesels Jenga. I've got this idea to play a massive Jenga game with cheesels boxes.
I was picturing like with actual cheesels, and I'm sitting there going,
cheesels.
I'm sitting there going, they don't stack very well. How would you pull one out? And like, yeah. But no, boxes makes more sense. I'm there with you now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a big week in the streaming world as well. There's been a few really important things that have dropped in. We've got a couple of conversations about bans and the implications of bans, as well as we've got a little bit of a review for everyone as well on something that may help people like me, because as some of you may know who are here now, my stream crashed like 6 times this week, and it was because of memory issues. So we might actually have a bit of a solution for me in that itself, and I've got questions to ask, but I don't have the knowledge, so I'm going to pass it over you for the actual information on it. So,
well, that's good, because I have some knowledge, and some knowledge can be a dangerous thing. But I think in this case, it's going to be a good thing. So, last night actually, GeForce, now powered by Pentanet, announced their release date and pricing. So, for those of you who are Goal members, which you can join for $11 a month and get a whole heap of wonderful things like our content sessions are just for you guys. You get some discounts, you get all sorts. But one of the things that you've had for the last month is access to the GeForce Now powered by Pentanet beta. I've played a little bit. I've done a little bit on stream as well. And what it essentially is cloud gaming. So Pentanet have set up some server rack space for a whole heap of RTX cards. And when you launch the GeForce Now application, it hooks into your Steam and into Epic and uses the games that you've got on those services. But instead of running it on your computer where you're right next to it, it'll run it in this server farm. And it means that all the calculations, all the computing, all the graphical grunt that's being done is being done by that server, not by your computer there. So what that means is it frees up space on your computer and frees up processing power to do other things like encoding video. So I see it as from a gaming point of view, it's pretty damn good as well, because the servers, I think at the moment they've set up 2 servers. So Pentanet's a Perth company. They've got a server farm here in Perth, and I think they've also got one in Sydney as well. So, but it means because those server locations are what's playing the game, when it's the ping that server has communicating with the whatever game server it is. So if you're playing an FPS, you might find that ping will be less than what you get on your computer as well. So it means better reaction times, and then all that's happening is the image is being streamed from that server to your computer, and little bits of keystrokes or inputs or whatever are being streamed back to the server farm.
Yeah, really, really interesting. Like, honestly, for me, that's something that I didn't understand when we first sort of had the conversation about it earlier, because I haven't been able to get into the beta yet, and I purposely kind of did not, only because I wanted to kind of get reactions from other people. And I've got a lot of stuff going on when it comes to my streams, trying to make sure they don't explode. It is constantly like I might as well set up a couple of fire extinguishers just on the computer at any given time, because we constantly have problems. But that being said, the idea that you've pitched here to me, I thought that it was a array of games. So I go onto GeForce and I go on. I'm like, all right, cool. What am I going to play? Let's look from a list, like Xbox Live has, like the Game Pass has, like Epic has, all that kind of stuff. And then I pick the game from the list. But what you're telling me sounds like I can have my Steam library, my Xbox Game Pass, all that kind of stuff, and then it reads it from my thing and then puts it onto the rack. And then
That's
that
exactly
allows me to
right.
play the games. Yeah. So that makes a huge difference to me. That is legitimately something that I'm interested in. As I'm currently only dealing with a single PC setup until such time as I can afford to buy a laptop. I'm sort of sorted in this world where I can't really do much. Now, I've got a really strong PC. I've got a good CPU. I've got a good GPU, but I've got a lot of bullshit on my streams. Like a lot of bullshit and like just stupid dumb memes that just make no sense appear out of nowhere and do what they do. And honestly, one of the main things that I think would really help for me would be to be able to take the load of the game off my rig. So the idea of being able to take the rig and just let it run my camera, my snap cam, my voice meter, my streamer bot, my touch portal, and these are just some of the things that I have. I also have the Streamlabs chat bot. I run so many different integrations at once, including about I think if I had a guess right now, there'd be 60 browser sources open right now. Um, that
60.
is because of OBS, because there are so many things that I point back and forth through stream elements to me again. There'd be close to 60 running right now. So my CPU, even while I'm not playing at this very moment, is at about 52 is where it's sitting there for the CPU temperature. So it's getting up there straight off the bat, and I'm not doing anything. If I actually go to my task manager and have a look here, as far as processors go, I'm sitting at 55 on my CPU, 37 on my memory, and all we're doing is talking. I'm not even streaming this. You are. So, I'm sending you a video, and that's all I'm doing. And it's still running like garbage. But that is because at any given time, I have got a shit ton of browser sources constantly running. So the facility to be able to have less of that running, that's huge. Because if I could just say, hey, game, go over here. PC, all you have to do is read what's coming in from the server and then run all of my stuff. It probably won't fail so much. So yeah, that's a really, really interesting thing, and I'm genuinely intrigued now. So
Yeah. And I
I'm
can tell you,
interested to hear
it
about
runs
pricing and stuff.
really well too. So the game, I've played a few games on there, and like I said, last few weeks, not last Wednesday because Metroid Dread Fever got me hard.
Yep.
But I'd played some World of Tanks through there, and it was extremely responsive.
Yep.
It was really good, and the ping between me and the server and the game server was
Yep.
great. So when it comes to GeForce Now, and I'm just going to look up because I have forgotten when it's actually
Whilst you're
launching.
looking it up, I will say that like a lot of the games that I play are not deeply they're not deeply player to player. There's not a lot of PvP element to it, so I'm not really going to be focused too much on worrying about my ping. On a server, I'm not so much worried about like how I play as opposed to other people. In a CS:GO environment or anything like that. It's more so, hey, is God of War going to play well, or whatever story-based game I'm playing, is that going to play well? So for me, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find. They did say when it was launching, and now It's October sometime. I'm pretty sure it's next week that it's launching. So there's two different accounts that you get. So the first one they're calling Priority, which is the paid version. So it's $20 a month. Or if you pay a year up front, it works out to be $18 a month, but it's billed annually. And so what you get then is you get access to priority queuing. So if you you jump ahead of people, because there is a free version as well that you can get on, you jump ahead of those people in the queue to play the games. You also get that wonderful RTX technology that I mentioned that is in all these racks. One thing that I wasn't aware that they were going to be doing, and only found out last night myself, was that they do cap the session time. So the priority people get 4 hours uninterrupted game time, and then it boots you out, and you can queue again straight away. But it does boot you out. So
interesting.
And with the free one, the basic account they're calling it, You get you get queued like everybody else, but obviously the
Yep.
priority people can jump in front. You only get 1 hour uninterrupted game time before it boots you, and you can rejoin again. And then RTX is disabled for
Yep.
those basic accounts. Cool. And the way it works with the games is that like I said, it connects to your Steam library and Epic library. And I think it's mainly a PC thing, so it's all about connecting to your PC gaming stuff. So I don't
Yep.
Xbox, like if you've got your Xbox Games Pass for PC, it doesn't hook into that, but it does. There's a whole raft of things that it hooks into. So it's a pretty cool thing, and like you were saying, it's a really good thing for streamers if you've got just a single PC that you're streaming from. It just takes that much load off your computer and puts it into the server farm.
Yeah, okay. That is really, really genuinely interesting because honestly, one of the big things that you want is, especially if you don't have facility to a lot of money, especially when you first start streaming, resources that will make streaming easier for you. So many people come up to me and they say, "Oh, Shippy, I want to stream, but I don't have a good computer. How can I stream if I don't have a good computer?" And you know, you talk to them about it, you explain kind of the minimum requirements and everything like that. But a lot of people will say, well, I could probably do one, but not the other on my
Mhm.
computer. You know, I could probably do OBS or I could do the actual game. So that's why I play games instead. So something like this will really open up the field to being able to do more things for more people.
Mhm.
The timer is fine. Obviously, if you're not paying for it, you only have access to an hour. You can work around that if you're a streamer very easily, but it doesn't even just have to be for streamers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, like it could be for people who are just playing games as well,
Well, it
and
could be you're on holiday and you just want to play a game, so you whack out your mobile phone and it's got the GeForce Now app on it. You boot that up and start playing a game.
yeah, no, exactly right. Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying is that it becomes very accessible. But if you are a streamer, you can. There are ways around it. You know, you can say, okay, so we're going to do an hour of this, and then we might play something different, or we're doing an hour of this, then we'll take a break. I'm going to get up and stretch my legs. You don't even have to talk about the fact that it's going to happen. You know, like you could definitely frame it in a way that would be positive for you as well as a
Mhm.
streamer.
And because it's still in beta at the moment and hasn't officially launched, you don't know how long these queues are going to be. Like
Yep.
they could be nothing, and just you disconnect to reconnect again, and that's about it. So
Yeah.
it's quite an interesting service, and will be really amazing to see streamers with some computers with slightly less processing power that can get onto this, and or maybe new people that have gone, well, wow, now I can play a game and stream. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's good. I think that once it launches, we'll really see the breadth of how many people use it, and that will really determine, I think, whether or not it becomes viable from a streamer point of view, or whether it becomes viable from an entertainment point of view for yourself when you're on holiday, like you said, or if you just want to play a game for a few hours and you don't want to, go through all of the rigmarole to get it set up and ready to go. You just go
Yeah.
bang bang, you're done. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works out for everyone involved. I'm really excited. I definitely want to try it now because, like I said before this conversation, I didn't have any real idea about what it could do. I thought there was going to be like a set of racked games already, and like new release games. Like assuming things like Back for Blood would be on there, maybe Minecraft's on there. A bunch of games that everyone would play, and then you kind of get to pick which one you want to play. Kind of in the way that Xbox Game Pass. I noticed a trend. I'm sure you do as well. Is when a new game gets loaded into Xbox Game Pass, all of a sudden all the streamers are playing it, even if it's a really old game
Yeah.
but it's new to Xbox Game Pass. Like when Alien Isolation first dropped there was like at least a 30% increase in people playing Isolation because they never got to play it before.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's kind of what I thought we were going to be looking at situation-wise, and I was happy for that too, because if there's a big enough library, then that's fine. But the concept of it being no, it logs into my Steam information, it logs into all of the stuff around what I play, and then it allows me to play that without being too resource heavy. Perfect example of a game that has never streamed for me is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That thing dogged my streams. Absolutely no joke. me entirely. Like right as far as you can possibly someone with a video game, it did. I would load it up and the game wouldn't run fine. It'd be like this for a bit, and then I'd change a few settings. I come back, and then my camera would be like, and the game would work fine. And there was literally no way. We tried everything. I reckon we spent 6 hours one day at my game, with my computer guy, my friend who does all my upgrades for me, because I am a potato inside here. He we spent about 6 hours there just going through all diagnostics, everything you can possibly do, running tests. We've added a 2080 into here instead of, I think I had like a very much less good card before that, but we put a 2080 in here. We changed things. We added RAM. Everything we moved around, couldn't get to play for the life of me. It would run, but it would lag my camera, or it would just run like dog shit. And it just didn't become like relevant. I actually got gifted it. It was a car. It was sent to me by Ubisoft. So I was like really keen to play it and show it off and all that kind of stuff. And I couldn't. I couldn't play it at all during its release window at all. And by the time we got it figured out, it had gone. And that sucks because like I legitimately love Assassin's Creed games. I am in the very, 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 very vast minority that says Assassin's Creed Unity is the best one. But that being said, I played Unity well after all the bugs had gone. I didn't play it at launch, so I thought it was a really good game after that.
You didn't
point.
get no skin face.
No, I didn't get spaghetti face at all. Like, yeah, I got all the good with none of the bad. And but you know, I've always really liked the series, and I was really keen. You know, I'm a young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed streamer doing these ones. Just got my first game sent to me from a company, and I couldn't play it. And I think if I had have had something like this then, that would have been a whole different situation. So yeah, really, really interesting, really positive, I think, for the streaming community as a whole. If people get around it, and you know, even if people don't get around it, you know, entirely, maybe that will be better for the people who do get around it. Who knows? You know, we just have to wait and see at this point. There's no real way of knowing how it will go. The beta, from what I've been told, everyone who I know who got around the beta loved it. Everyone I know who got around the beta couldn't sing its praises enough, and there was a whole bunch of like eyes on it at the time too. So I only hope good things for it, if I'm honest.
It's really good to see these streaming services for games come a long way, because I think everybody remembers Stadia and remembers what a shit show that was when it launched. It was just it was terrible. There's the gif of the guy that goes jump on the space bar and goes, and then the character jumps. That's what people remember about cloud gaming. And this, along, because GeForce Now's been running in the States for a while now. It's come to Australia in beta for about a month, just to stress test the servers, I think, more than anything, and to play on a wide variety of devices. Because I even tried it on my phone for a bit, and I was like, yep, I like this. Yep. And I mean, and then you've got xCloud as well, which has recently come out of beta with Xbox as well.
Yeah.
So all Xbox Games Pass Ultimate subscribers now have that too. So and that's a really solid service. I did a review for that for Game On Aus when the beta first came out, and I went through things like how much data it uses and what the connection's like. The first game I played a couple of multiplayer games of Halo, and my benchmark was, well, I sucked about as much as I usually do in first-person shooter multiplayer, so I'll count that as a win.
Yeah, it's sort of a win.
Yeah, yep. But then I moved to some platformers and was playing that with the movement, especially like the Ori games, because I love those are brilliant games, and like the movement and the controller input was just nil lag, so that was great.
Yeah, okay. That's what.
But yeah, so I was just going to say that's what you want. That's what you want from these services. You don't want spacebar jobs.
No, like you don't want to sit there and like there's nothing worse. Like I think even when it comes, sometimes we have a SMP server with what I do, that we do Minecraft on, and there are times when the ping will be bad and I'll jump, but the character won't jump until a few seconds later, and it kind of ruins the experience a little bit. So any situation there where that's not happening and cloud gaming is just working, it's obviously the way we're moving with everything, the way that, you know, 5 years ago, there's no way, even, yeah, I'd say maybe 10 to 5 years ago, there's no way you would see me buying games not from EB.
Mm.
Like, but now Steam, and I'm just getting everything on Steam, or I'm getting everything on the Ubisoft store or the Xbox, wherever I can get games from. If it ends up being digital, it ends up being better, and it's because I can play the game on release. I don't have to wait in line the next day at the shops. If I get a physical copy of it sent to me later on, even better. But I'm not going out and buying games anymore. So we're really moving towards a situation here where games are moving to the cloud anyway. So
Mm.
why not let the cloud handle the majority of the load?
Yeah. Well,
Um,
you even see it in games like Nintendo have released, well, not released a few, but on the Switch, there's a few games like Control Cloud Edition came to the Switch, which is where they're leveraging the cloud to do a lot of the processing in the game as well. Not all of it. We're not talking like fully cloud streaming here,
yeah,
but they're using some cloud processing to make up for some of the Switch's lack of processing power. So
yeah.
they do it. But yeah, like it's just the way things are going. Music's going to streaming. It's just like crazy.
Well,
And
that's the same thing again. Like, there's
yeah,
no way that you'd see me not buying, you know, the latest music at a music place. Like, at this real cool place I buy CDs from. I don't do that anymore. Like,
mm,
and I used to do it all the time. I used to always do it. And, I still have, even though I haven't used it in years and Spotify all the way, I still have in the car. It's been broken for about 5 years. But in the car, I have like a 6-stack CD rack in there. It doesn't turn on. I can't even turn the radio on, the bastard, at all. And I just put Spotify on through a little speaker that I bought from Kmart on the dashboard and turn it up as loud as it can go. And that's my sound system in the car at the moment. But like, and it is just Spotify all the way, like Spotify playlists and everything. But you're talking 10 years ago, there's no way. There's no way I
well,
would have been doing that as opposed to getting myself a CD of whatever it is. And gaming's the same. So like it really we're really moving into a cloud-based world with everything. Who would have thought that I would be able to get the latest Ninja Sex Party album like on release for free on Spotify, and I'm only paying for my premium license on Spotify to my premium account so that I can have no ads. So I'm not even buying the $30 CD anymore. I'm not buying the music anymore at all anywhere. It's just on Spotify, and I can listen to it forever.
yeah.
So
So yeah, I still do like having physical copies of games. Like I am still a physical media person because,
mhm.
and especially when it comes to music, I like having that CD there and like
Yeah,
um. And although that said, when I get the CD, I rip it, and every single bit of music that I own is on this.
yeah,
But it, and that's what I play in the car. But I still like having the CDs.
yeah,
I don't know. It's something about, and it's a risk with cloud gaming and cloud music and streaming services like Netflix and Stan and Disney Plus, that you like something, you want to go back and watch it, but it's disappeared off there because something's happened. I
yeah,
remember a while back, my partner at the time, I was taking her kids through watching Star Wars,
yeah,
and we went, oh, let's just jump on Netflix and watch it, because at the time it was on Netflix. Well,
yeah,
I should say before that it was on Netflix, but then it's disappeared because Disney Plus is coming and they've taken the
yeah,
rights back, and
yeah.
yeah, so that's why I still like physical media. I like having it. I like having, like, just have a look at all the old consoles behind me that you can still
You
go and
like
play.
object permanence. You
I
know things
do.
to be able to exist.
I
Yeah.
do. Like, it's not likely to happen, but if Apple or Steam or Valve was to up and disappear tomorrow, you suddenly lose all that stuff that you've bought from them over the years.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I get that too. Like,
Mm.
trust me. When it comes to game releases and stuff, if the game is a game that I like, chances are I'll buy it twice. Like,
Mm.
like Destiny, The Witch Queen is coming out. When that comes out in February, I will purchase it a physical copy, but I will be playing that on release, on launch, as soon as I can.
Mm.
And that's purely because I will get it on a digital copy as well. And that's just because I have to do that with certain things. Now, I
Mm.
know, like, speaking on Destiny, like, there's a content creator I like named More Console, and he does a lot of really, really good Destiny stuff. Like, he's very very well informed. He gets sent a lot of stuff from people. And one thing that I'll bring it back to physical copy versus digital copy, one thing that I've noticed a lot is that he'll get a massive crate for whatever game, say it's the new COD or whatever, and there'll be guns in there and grenades that you can use for real life and all this kind of stuff in there. But then when you get to the disc itself, you open up the disc container and it's got a digital code there because they're not sending physical games anymore.
Yeah.
They're sending the digital code, even with your collector's editions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's strange, but I think the more that we resist against it, the more it's going to keep coming. And
Oh yeah, look, I'm not resisting it. Like, I've still got a fairly healthy Steam library that I don't play.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like when it comes to consoles, I'll generally buy it. Although I must admit, with Games Pass, I found myself trying games. So that's that's probably something that it more helps with than not. Yeah.
Games Pass has replaced Video Easy. Like, Game Pass, any of these products, like even like the Epic Game Store with the free games they have on sale every week or month or whatever it is, they've replaced your Blockbuster Video, they've replaced your Video Easy, because, gone is the day where you can go into your video shop and rent a game and then play it for a week and decide you hate it, but it's okay because you only spent $10 or whatever it was renting it. Those days are gone. But thanks to things like the Game Pass, you can now do that. So you can. I've installed AAA titles up the wazoo this month, and I've played them a bunch, and then I've got rid of them because I hate them. I don't want to spend $90 per game, $120 per game in some instance, Nintendo, and to only have to go back and then hate it. Nintendo is the only one that doesn't do that kind of thing. And we do have to just pay because you know what? They've got the monopoly, and absolutely, if you don't care, you got no choice. You have to buy from Nintendo. You want to see the little plumber with the red hat? Well, you have to go buy it. You have to go spend $150 on it because Nintendo says so.
That's where EB Games 7-day return policy comes in handy.
Especially if you're like a level 4 and you've got like 14 days or whatever it is. Like, there's some stupid amount of time to send games back in.
It's been a while since I've done that, but there's like, near where I live, there's 3 EB Games in pretty close proximity, and I must have abused that for like 2 months. I'd go back in to, because they take it to each, like, it doesn't matter which one you take it back to, and as long as if you spread it round a bit, then they don't know. So I probably shouldn't be talking about this. My dodgy stuff.
I mean, I do it to their face because I know people, but in general, because it's part of the rules anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it says you can return games if you don't like them within this time frame. So I can go and I can say, all right, I'm going to get this game. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I might just bring it back in a week. We'll find out. And then I'll go and I'll do it because it's within their policy. It's within the terms and conditions. You're allowed to do it.
Yeah, they do say if you finished it, but that's only if you get somebody that asks the question. And if you're silly enough to say, yes, I finished it, then they won't take it back.
Yeah, exactly right. No, exactly right. But yeah, for me, like, I see no problem because the gaming industry, for lack of a better term, games us all the time. How many times have you got yourself a really, really awesome AAA title and you're sitting there, you're like, oh, I can't wait to play this game. It's going to be so good. You open it up and it is a dumpster fire. Like, it's just straight up the shittest game. Like, I mean, I've done it heaps. I know you've done it heaps. I know everyone in chat's done it heaps. You've been so keen on it, so excited for it, and then you say, well, I don't want to play it no more, and then you got to return it. They're like, well, what's wrong with it? And you say, well, I didn't like it. Back in the day, you couldn't do that. Now with things like EB, I guarantee if you take that to a Target or a Kmart and you say, well, I didn't like the game, please give me the money back, and they'll tell you to get stuffed. And like the games industry, it really is like, again, I know I kind of get into Nintendo a little bit, and I have done in the past as well because I love Nintendo games. I do not love the hefty price tag on everything Nintendo.
I love Nintendo, but Nintendo going to do what Nintendo going to do.
Nintendo doesn't love me back.
Yeah, it's like they know what they've got. They know the type of games they play, and people will bitch and moan and complain,
and then they can do it.
Yeah, and
Like,
still hand over the money at the end of the day and get the
yeah,
game.
because you will still play. You want to play Yoshi.
Mm.
You want them. You want to do that shit. You want to jump on the green dinosaur, and you want to collect stars, and you want to fight Ganon. You want to do all this stuff that you can't do on any other console. So yes, you will play game. Yes, you will buy game, and great, good on them. They've got the monopoly on their own products.
Yeah.
You can't get them anywhere else. You can't do it anywhere but Nintendo. But yeah, it is a bit of a sour for people who play games as much as we do for our job, to have to be forking out thousands of dollars a year just for these games that you can't. If it was for sale on Steam, you'd probably get it for $30. There are so many other avenues in which imagine Nintendo did a deal with Xbox and Nintendo games were on the Xbox Game Pass. Like,
Well,
oh my
Steve,
goodness.
Steve from Minecraft in Smash. Yeah.
Oof, maybe question mark Microsoft, Nintendo,
Yeah.
little these ones.
That's it.
Who knows? But yeah, it's interesting because like the digital side of it is really where it's at. Even when it comes to the Nintendo Store, every time you buy a game on the Nintendo Store, you essentially get given free money to then go buy more games on the Nintendo Store. So they do kind of have that handover as well. If you're spending big money on the store buying games, every 5 or so, maybe 4, depending on what you do, you'll get enough Nintendo points back to buy something for yourself as well. Like, it ends up kind of evening out in that sense too. But yeah, I don't know. I find it really interesting that we really are moved into this next era, and it really, I think, will become digital mostly, because you got to think about the environment as well. What kind of imprint are we leaving with all the plastic from the game covers? Like the games being put onto CDs, all that kind of stuff. There's obviously a global impact there as well. I would rather reduce the hell out of that, get my games early on release day, go through all the bugs, swear black and blue about how much I hate video games, not play it for a week, then come back when the queues aren't 2 weeks to get into the game.
New World, I'm
and then go
looking
from
at
there.
you.
Right, New World. Yes, we see. I watched so many of my
Uh,
friends not be able to play that game on release. They're like, "Let's go, New World party."
oh,
Oops.
I queued for that when it came out because I thought, oh, you beauty. Because I have Wednesdays off. It comes out Tuesday night. As soon as it hit 7 o'clock, I was in there queuing, 6,000 in the queue. I thought, you know what, that's all right. I'm going to play Final Fantasy 14 while I waited, and it got to like 10:30 at night, and I'm still in the queue and going, you know what, it's not happening tonight, people. We're just going to cut our losses. I think in the end, I stayed in the queue just to see what happened. It was like midnight before I got in, and I played it for a bit and went, I really like this game, but there's no way I'm queuing for 5 hours whenever I want to play. Thankfully, they have gotten past some of those initial issues, because I know I started a character on another server because there was a few people in Goa playing and going, oh, we're going to move to this other server, which still had a queue. And in the end, I just went, you know what, I'm just rolling a character on the lowest population server I can find because I just want to play this game right now.
Yeah.
And they have said they'll offer server transfers. So, like, eventually we'll all come back.
Be paid, I think, to begin with, but now they're free because of all the issues that went down. So, and that's fine. Like obviously,
they doubled their server capacity in 24 hours. That's how
much money
crazy
did that cost
it was.
them, though? Like,
it would have been. Well, but it's made by Amazon Game Studio, though, so they'll have access to AWS, servers. So.
Yeah. Realistically speaking, anytime, again, this is that conversation from last week all over again. Don't at me with Amazon spending money when it's worth as much as it's worth. I don't, shut up. Like, we're not having that discussion because you can't do that. We're not having that conversation. And it's fine. I think that those games, there's a reason people queue for them, especially a game like New World. The problem with New World launching the way it did is because there were people who were gaming New World. I got mates who are like, really, really high level now. And it's like any of these games, like your World of Warcrafts, your Final Fantasies. If you're not in on this level on launch, you are always going to be this far behind everyone else. And the problem with the New World issue, like the New World being the way it was, and I'm not talking for your general players, I'm talking for your hardcore serious people who go in there and they have to be the highest level so they can hit the dungeon on launch, so they can do the raids as soon as they're available. Those people who game the game to really play it, those are the people who were hurt the most, I think, when the game launched, because they're the
The
ones who,
the people
you
that
know,
want the e-points to say, I did this first.
yeah, exactly right. They're like, check out me EP.
Yeah.
Those people, they're the ones that would have lost out the most, because maybe one of their mates got in, and now their mate's got 5 levels on them, and they'll always have 5 levels on them, because they'll be playing together and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it is what it is when it comes to online gaming, especially something to the level of New World. I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. I played the alpha, and no qualms about it. I thought the alpha was shit, and I was approached to play it again, and I kind of just said, I don't even know. But that being said, I've been proved wrong, because a lot of people love it. I've got a lot of mates who have gone through and played it since then. They reckon it's nothing like the alpha. And Shippy, you're stupid. You made the mistake. And now I even feel a little bit too far behind. That's why I haven't reached out to try to get it myself now, because I feel like I've hit the point where I feel like when I started playing Destiny, Destiny had already been going for a little while, up until just before, about 3 months before the release of The Taken King is when I started playing. So there'd already been like Vogue, there'd already been Crota, all the major sort of early raid stuff had happened, and I felt way far behind the 8 ball straight off the bat. I eventually made it back, but it took years to get to a point where I felt on the same level as my other friends who played the game. And that's how I feel when it comes to New World.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of things that Amazon should spend money on, Twitch and music. Like this
Yes.
So there was a little bit of news on this while Streamaholics was on hiatus, and there's I found a Twitter post from someone who copied and pasted the email from 22nd of September, so it's a little bit old now. Twitch were, in their own way, very excited to announce that they have an agreement with the National Music Publishers Association to build productive partnerships between Twitch and music partners. As part of this agreement, we want to let you know about a process that we are creating that participating music rights holders can opt into to report certain uses of their music, which is more flexible and forgiving to creators who inadvertently or incidentally use music in their streams than the existing process required under the DMCA and similar global laws.
Yeah.
Basically, they've developed a warning system that record labels can use if we play music on our streams that's copyrighted. It's not, it's Twitch covering their own ass. It's nothing about the streamers. And it still annoys me that they can't spend some decent money on having proper music.
Hey, Twitch, I have a question. The jukebox in Back for Blood that was released 2 days ago, the jukebox is getting people struck. You can't tell me in this whole thing you've done here with making it easier, the very first next major release game that could possibly have copyright music, people are getting strikes against their account for. Like literally the next one. Like we've had a couple of weeks now, not really much in the way of big releases. Bang, Back for Blood comes out straight away. Jukebox, DMCA. Like. Just let us play music, man. Just let us play fucking music and stop. Yeah, like I know there are a bunch of rules, and it's not as simple as that and clear. You know me. You've been in my streams. You know that we circumvent the Twitch music side of things. Anyway, on my stream, and that is purely because streaming can be really fun where there's music playing that people bop along to. And it can be really boring when it is the Harris Heller lo-fi music playlist on every single stream you go to on the platform. And there was a period there when the DMCA strikes hit real hard about 3 months ago. Do you remember when it all went really, really hard and heavy into it? Maybe it was even a bit longer now, maybe even 4 or 5. But there was a point there where nothing on the platform, it was just all that. It was all, what's it called? The Sound Lab. What was the thing that they released? Twitch. They released their own.
Their soundtrack app, or whatever.
Soundtrack.
Yeah,
there was all that, which is Harris Heller backing music essentially, and that doesn't even work. I tried to get that to work on my PC, and I just always encountered errors. And it got to a point where I just cracked the shits and threw it in the bin and didn't touch it again. but everybody who I knew was using the playlist, the Harris Heller music, and using Stream Elements to give that lo-fi backing noise because you need backing noise. Without backing noise, streams are boring. And you know how cool it is to have a diverse channel of people who come from all parts of the world, who listen to all different kinds of music, all come together and just say, "Hey, Shippy, this is my favorite song. Listen to it with me." That's such a cool, unique experience. I really wish there was a way to just let us do that. And this
Well,
thing,
there is. Twitch just doesn't want to spend the money on it. Like when the DMCA first started cracking down, I remember it because like literally days before I'd done my first Lego building stream, and people that have watched Goa may have seen it, or even on my own channel, I like doing it, and I played music. I just went on YouTube. I went on the YouTube roundabout. I looked up a song that I want, and I just let it play through. And then a couple of days later, it was like, oh, everybody's getting these DMCA strikes, and go, well, I guess I won't be doing that again. And then I moved to things like doing Twitch things and building Lego, and now I do Rock Band and do Lego. But even that, like Twitch things was all right because Twitch had a specific license for it. But Rock Band is a bit iffy because it's a game, but it's also licensed music, so
you can still cop it with that, can't you?
Yeah, well, I did notice something the other day. I was just flicking through the Twitch settings for whatever, and you can actually now set in Twitch to not record a VOD when a certain category is being played. So I added Rock Band 4 to there. So every time I stream Rock Band 4 on my own personal channel, it doesn't record the VOD anymore, because from what I'm understanding, all these DMCA strikes that were coming out of the woodwork were being done on clips and VODs and things like that. So if you disable that for that particular category, then hopefully you won't, like, they'll have to be watching live to get in trouble, sort of thing.
Well, live strikes they occur, but they are really rare.
Yeah,
like I've got three mates who have just become Twitch partners, and all three of them do the same thing that I do when it comes to the music. So all three of them have fully licensed music playing in the background of their stream, their entire stream, and they still got given partner. So that means that there were Twitch representatives in the chat who didn't flag them. So as far as having a live music flag, it is super, super rare.
Yeah. Twitch itself doesn't care. Like they only care as far as the music publishers are going to come after them for.
Yeah, so if you get one of the major publishers say, "Hey, this guy might be doing this, and we're noticing it," then they'll go into it.
And it annoys me because in Australia there's a body called APRA AMCOS that looks after music licensing. I went through it with the hockey club that I'm part of, so we have a license through. I think it's actually One Music is the body as well that deals with it. But APRA AMCOS also deals with a lot of right stuff. But I contacted APRA AMCOS and went, I want to license music for my stream. How can I do that? And they said, you can't, Twitch needs to.
Yeah.
And they were, well, that's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
No, I went to Ninja Sex Party themselves, the band, and I said, when I first started streaming, I said, "Hey, can I use your music on my streams?" And they said, "Cool, we'll come have a look." And they came and they watched one of my streams, and then they sent me an email the next day. They're like, "We love what you do. We love the vibe. You can use our music for as long as you like." So I've got that email. I've kept that email, but that doesn't matter for shit because it's not me and them that need to have the agreement. It's them and Twitch.
No, not in this case. Because you have the agreement, that agreement is essentially licensing the music. So you now have a license.
But they will still flag me though, is what I'm saying. Like Twitch, because Twitch don't have the knowledge of it, and then I'd have to contest it and say, "Hey, I actually have this."
There should be a way somewhere? If there's not Twitch, why don't you have a way of registering that and going, I have this agreement, don't flag me and don't mute my VODs and. Yeah.
There's no current way for me to upload an agreement that I can see. I've never found it. And there needs to be. You know, if you spent all this money making this new little tab on my Twitch account that tells me about how much trouble I'm in if I get caught with it. There's this whole section for those who are not affiliated or not even Twitch streamers yourselves and just have an account, there's a whole section within your Twitch creator dashboard that tells you how much trouble you can be in if you get done for this stuff. It's this whole section they've added in there. Yes, cool. That's lovely. But where's the section underneath that allows me to upload my permissions?
Yeah.
Where's the section underneath that allows me to contest or even, God forbid, talk to somebody about it?
What, a tech company talking to somebody? No.
Like, it's bad for that. And that honestly leaks into the next point of conversation anyway. So I think as far as the music side of things go, I don't really have much to add to it because they haven't done anything.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have a lot. It's like reinventing the wheel there. It's still shit. So let's just... Yeah, and until Twitch actually decides to listen to people, which, like I say, it's the topic of the next thing to talk about. Bans in general. There was a high profile streamer, Amaranth, returned to streaming today after she received her latest ban. Say what you will about her, she has a lot of controversy about who she is and what she does. But with this case, and she's saying that she doesn't know what she did to get banned, and whether she does or not, I would be more inclined to think that she doesn't know, because all these big internet corporations are the same, whether it's Twitch or Facebook or YouTube. What did I blank on YouTube's name for? Like they'll say, "Oh, this has been, you've got a ban for community violations." Great. Which one did I violate? And you hit crickets.
I mean, like, this one in particular is interesting because it's unclear what was behind the ban. So not only does she not know, but nobody knows. Yeah. Nobody specifically knows because they don't have to give a reason. All they can say is that you were in violation of a community standard. And the problem with that is that it can be literally anything. It could be vendetta. Who knows at this point? And the problem with that is that this ties into something I really wanted to cover here. Is that what's fair for the goose is not fair for the duck. I don't know what it's gander maybe.
It's normally gander, but I get what you're saying.
But what was fair for one person isn't fair for anyone. I spoke about this on an early Streamaholics episode. I've got a friend whose name is the Sperm of Zeus. He was banned because of the word sperm in his name. Now, it's nothing, it's not gross, it's more so saying, progeny of Zeus. It's not trying to say he is the literal, ejaculate of a god. It's more so saying he's like the second coming kind of thing. But I understand it's a little bit, second coming. I understand it's a little bit of a on the nose kind of thing. But he was banned, flat out. No possible conversation. And you know why? It's because he was an affiliate who had, I think, maybe 400, maybe whatever it was on his account. Not a lot of viewers, not a lot of followers, but had a good, dedicated fan base of people who were always there. But because he didn't make the company money, he didn't make the platform money, he legitimately can't contest his ban. I have sent emails on his behalf to the platform. I've sent tweets. I've sent Facebook messages. I know his community has done all that as well. Good amount of people have done this, never again heard a single word. Yet at the same time, we're looking at Amaranth, for example, who is banned almost on the week-to-week basis. That's how it feels. It's not. But I would say in a calendar year, you're talking maybe 5 or 6 bans easily could be coming through, right? Now, that is bad. We just got off a ban. She was literally just banned before Streamaholics went on hiatus. And this is a different one now. Because that ban was due to the ASMR thing, right? And now she's back after being banned again. Why is someone who can... Why? What's the difference? What's the difference between someone who is making a lot of money and is a partner? Yeah, that's the difference, clearly. But why can they contest a ban, but people like us can't? And that's a real problem with Twitch, in my estimation. And the transparency there, the fact that there's not even the facility to have a conversation. You can't even leave a message somewhere to have someone actually get back to you.
And if you do get an email, it's an anonymous thing that has nobody's name on it, has no recourse. It's just like
the Twitch team.
Yeah, the Twitch team. By the way, this email's not monitored, so don't bother replying
Yeah,
to it. Yeah.
yeah. And that's a problem. Like, the simple fact that creators can't get their words heard unless you make. I think I read in a report on Amaranth is she makes where is it 17 no between here we go 13,000 on Patreon. 18,000 on Patreon, 17,000 from Fansly, 10 to 25,000 on Instagram, and 5 to 15 on Twitter. So she makes at least $133,000 a month based on subscriptions and donations. Now that's a lot of money. You know who doesn't need the money? Amaranth. You know who needs the money? People who are doing this to try to grow their business and become somebody to the point where they can also not need their money. Like, so what's the difference between someone who doesn't have the huge viewership but desperately needs it? Like, if I got banned off this platform, that's literally the food I used to feed my family. Like, and can't speak for my friend like Zeus, for example, or any other creator who's been banned at the low level. But what happens if they get banned? What do they lose? And that's the issue for me is that
It's
you can be so flippant in handing out reversals of bans because people make $100,000 a month, but you can't even have a conversation with people if you're not making that. Um, that stinks.
yeah. My, the thing that really bugs me about Twitch is that everything they do is reactive. Nothing that they look at something and go, "Oh, that could be improved." It's well, sorry. Let me rephrase that. They don't look at stuff and go, "How can this be improved for our users?" It's how can we make more money off this, or how can it benefit us? And that's the real vibe that Twitch gives off. It
Yeah.
like the changes that they make or the decisions that they make, like reversing bans, aren't about the users. It's about them, and that shows. And let me tell you, if there was a viable, well, yeah, there are viable alternatives in the form of YouTube, which is getting better and better, and
Yeah.
Facebook gaming. It and they're going to be losing a whole heap of market share the way they're going. Like I must have seen on my Twitter feed in the last week probably at least 3 or 4 people that have gone, you know what, I'm sick of Twitch, I'm quitting, and I just
Yeah.
stop streaming. You know, it's
Yeah. I mean,
it's
I've
just
seen a huge downturn. Like I said, from last week to this week, um, since the last conversation about my 3 strikes, for lack of a better term, when it comes to Twitch, your hate raids, your paid analytics, and then the Twitch hack. Those 3 sort of major events, they have caused an exodus unlike anything I've seen in my time on the platform. Like I would say across the board maybe 30% down across my friends and my streamers in general, all the people that I follow. As far as active viewership goes, I know that I went from about 90 people to 130 people most streams, down to anywhere from sort of 55 to 80 at present. Yeah, I find it really hard to hit that above 80 cap right now. And it is purely because nothing has changed. Like our content's gotten better, if anything. I've improved my microphone, I've improved my camera. We're playing fun stuff. We're doing things that people want to see. Um, but some people are just not there anymore. Some people just simply don't exist in the sphere of Twitch anymore, and that is because of the thing that happened recently. And it's not in a good way. Like overall, Twitch is there are a lot of things that are not working well. That being said, a lot of my mates are doing very well as well. So. Um, it's hard to explain, but what I think is happening, we had a bit of a talk before stream. What I think is happening is that with the absence of so many smaller channels, we're creating a vacuum where a lot of the channels who have been sitting at a decent size, they're kind of above maybe like the general kind of channel, anywhere from I would say maybe 80 up to 300. Those are seeing a bit of a rise. They're seeing a bit of a gain in traction because they're getting put on recommended more often. They're getting put on the front page more often. And all of the people who can't currently see their friends, they're all funneling to these other like-minded streams. But it means for people like myself, I'm not getting a lot of the additional traction coming in. I'm just seeing a drop off of people who are no longer around. And that's purely, like I said, it is purely because the landscape has changed. in the past few months, the landscape of Twitch has completely changed. I do not attribute it to COVID, people going home and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of my viewership, they're either already in the house or they're in an office anyway. So it really wouldn't be that, I don't think. But yeah, it's been a really significant difference across the board. And the only thing I can think of is that people are scared. I've spoken to people who are scared. They're saying, I don't want to come on the platform because I'm worried about my security, or I want to come on the platform because I am in the LGBTQIA plus community and I don't want to get called horrible names, you know, and it's not a fun place to be in that sense. So I think that we really need to start seeing some actual action. It's one thing to reset our stream keys. It's one thing to reset our passwords. It's another thing entirely to make the place seem safe. And not just that, but make me feel like I matter. Because right now, I can't talk to you. Right now, I can't get in touch with you at all. If I want to speak to you, Twitch, I have to yell into the void and hope that somebody picks it up. Like, I have to go to social media and I have to go to my Discord and say, hey, guys, I'm about to yell at Twitter, at Twitch, on Twitter. Can you guys retweet it and share it and comment and all this stuff? Because no one's going to hear me otherwise. We need a way to hold the entire platform accountable, and we don't have that right now.
Yeah. It reminds me, this is non-streaming related, but I love the story, and knowing my mate, it was just very him. A few years ago, a mate got really sick of Telstra. They were like, to the point he was angry, like not seeing red, seeing white. He was that angry. It was, and like, you could see for a month afterwards, he went back and found every bad Facebook post that he could about Telstra and shared it and commented on it and like just went full nuclear on it. And that's really what you have to do with Twitch to get them to notice. And when you're basically waiting to have a room full of people shouting at an organization to do something, it's not the way it needs to be. It's really bad. But yeah, it's, and I don't know what we can do. I don't know if it's a change in CEO that needs to happen or a change in culture. I have no idea what can be done to really improve it other than leaving, and because that's the only thing companies like this care about is money, and unfortunately with streamers like you and me, Shippy, even the Game On Aus channel, we're not that big a money to Twitch. So if we leave, they won't care. Yeah, they won't care. It's and it'll take people like the XQCs and the Amaranths or the Shrouds, the Ninjas, those sorts of people, and they don't care because they're making money while the sun shines. And that's great. If I was in their position, I'd be doing the same thing. You know, it's like you'd take money while you can in these gigs because you never know when it's going to run out. It's like I always equate being a streamer to being like an actor or an artist or a musician or something like that, because could be the flavor of the month for a while and then all of a sudden that disappears, and if you haven't planned for that money, then just, oh look, your friend's here, Shippy. Hello there, Mr. Offspring of Zeus.
But no, you're absolutely right. Like, it is very much about being in the public eye and in the forefront. And that's what I'm saying about the voiceless, you know what I mean? Like, unless you are one of these people who has a real voice, you're not worth shit. And it sucks because, like, yes, it's unfair and they only care about the bottom dollar. And yes, it's the ones that they care about are the big famous ones. But what happens in 5 years' time when Spermazeus is the biggest thing on the platform? You know, what happens when like that person who's been treated like shit all of a sudden becomes this juggernaut? What, are they going to apologize for it and say, "Oh, sorry, here's your SPERM back instead of numbers"? No, they're not. Of course, they're not going to do that. And we're seeing a huge exodus here right now of people who are leaving like Twitch to go to YouTube or go to Facebook gaming, And it's because they're getting treated better. One of the major things we've been speaking about here on and off is the fact that you can go through Facebook gaming and YouTube, and you can restream that. You can co-stream that together, and you can share your audiences there. But the second you add the purple brand into it, nah, no chance. Banned, fired, no more money, get out of my office. Not even a question about it. As soon as you get done for restreaming, you're done. Like, you can't even, it's a 24-hour gap. I can't stream a game on Twitch and then go to YouTube the next night and stream the same game if it's within that 24 hours. Because of the way the agreement works. And obviously there are exceptions to the rule, but then again, once again, exceptions, those are the people who have the money. Those are the people who are making the money for them. And it's shit. It sucks. It's really just unfair across the board. That being said, though, Amaranth is not the only big news here. Like, Amaranth is not the only big one there, because I like my social media, and I like my cool influences and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a big FaZe boy. I quite like the FaZe clan in general, and FaZe Kaylee. So this is the other side of the Amaranth story we wanted to talk about, is that FaZe Kaylee, whom some people may or may not know, Kaylee is the first woman to get drafted by FaZe Clan into their gaming side of things, and currently will just come off a ban as well. They banned earlier, so still on ban. No idea why. And this comes back to the Spermazeus thing that I was saying earlier. No one knows why. The only thing that they can think has happened is because when FaZe Kaylee first got into FaZe, a bunch of people hated it. A bunch of people revolted against it. They were like, "Why is a girl here?" Blah blah blah. A bunch of horrible misogynistic bullshit. And what happened is that they went to her TikTok and they mass reported it, and it got her perma-banned off the platform. Perma-banned off the platform completely, and can't get on there still. And they think that what's happened is that the chat transcript on Twitch has actually been the reason why she's been banned on Twitch as well. But they cited violation of community standards, and and also sexually suggestive content. Now, for anyone who has ever seen one of the streams, she wears hoodies. She wears big shirts. She doesn't. It's not like she's like a bikini streamer. She plays shooting games, like she's like a Warzone streamer. So it's stupid and it makes no sense. And so what I'm trying to say,
just quietly from my point of view, who cares if it's sexually suggestive?
It makes money. I've had this conversation as well with Lukey, when I've said in the past.
Mate, you can bet your bottom dollar if I looked like them, I'd be happy having my shirt off all the time. Like,
I got mates who do it, like men who do it on the platform.
Yeah.
Like, of course, absolutely. And I'm losing weight. There's every chance that I would wear, a very small singlet on stream. Absolutely. But that being said, no one is holding a gun to these people to subscribe.
Yeah.
No one is telling them to, hey, you have to be a subscriber. You have to spend money on this person. You have to S-word for people, because we can't say that here. But, like, no one's saying they have to do any of that. It's completely on the viewer, their responsibility and their choice to do it. So even if that was the case, is that worth a ban? Like, no, because if there's a mature tag on the stream, which I'm sure there is, if there's a mature tag on your stream, kids can't be in there anyway. The very second, Bestia will tell you, who is in the chat right now, the very microsecond that someone says that they are doing year 11 study, or a year 9 study, or they got to wait for their mum to pick them up from school, they're banned. My team boot straight away. Not even a second thought. Banned, get out. Because my streams, they're 18 plus. You have to be. They say it has a mature tag on it. And I'm sure the same thing applies here. So, like, who cares if it's sexually suggestive content if it's an 18 plus stream? It's not pornography. There's not going to be some dick sucking on the stream. It's just maybe like a bit of like, oh, here, like this. Like, that's fine to me, in my experience. I just don't see why they would throw bans. And the issue to me, again, like I've said, is not necessarily the ban, it's the way the ban is treated. It's shrouded in complete obscurity. There's no
Yeah.
reason for it. Amaranth, we all know Amaranth is a bit of a sleazy, fart in the microphone. Hey, how you going? Lick the ears of the ASMR microphone. I'm wearing a bikini. If you go to an Amaranth stream, you know what you're going there for. You know, like You can't tell me you don't know. You're like, oh no, I thought it was about the video games. This is bullshit. Like, of course it's not about the video games, dickhead.
Twitch isn't
It's
even about the video games anymore. Like, because they're doing sports streams, and you've got
exactly
for
right.
better or worse, we've got the hot tub freaking
Yeah.
category now. It's like it just gets my like in everything I do in my day job. Like, I'm an IT guy. We make a change, it gets communicated to people. So we're doing this. It's got to possibly affect these systems between this time and this time.
Yeah.
Twitch gives you nothing. They give you no indication of what they're thinking, because you don't get an interaction with a person. You get an automated message that says, "Oh, you violated the nebulous community standards." All right, well, the community standards is like 4 pages long. Which part of it did I violate? No course for no recourse. No recourse. You can't appeal it. You can't say, well, no, this is what I think happened, and give a reason. Just nothing. And I will say Twitch is not alone in that. YouTube and Facebook are
Twitter's
the same.
Just bad.
But all because they've all got automated systems that they try to get, and that's fair, because like the amount of traffic that goes through all those social media sites and streaming sites is ridiculous. It's huge amounts of data, and that's why the report buttons are there, because if you see something that's gotten by the algorithms, hit the report button and report it. But not being able to appeal that sort of stuff, and when those automated systems detect, oh, lots of people are reporting this, I'm going to take it down now, because stupid, whatever his name was, Logan Paul went and poked that dead body, and just because people do stupid shit. It really annoys me, because like, if I did my day job the way that they do their day job, and believe me, as an IT guy, I try to hide. I do everything in email as much as I can. One, because it puts it in writing, and two, because I don't really like talking to people, which seems strange when I say that I'm a streamer as well. But I like this talking. I don't like work talking. This is it's. I don't understand how companies can be so non-transparent.
It makes me miss going to my it makes me miss going to Gamer Sups or G Fuel or any of these protein places, and the second you get on the website, the bubble comes up and they're like, "Oh, hello, I'm Chad from Gamer Sups. How can I help you with your order today?" And then you connect through and you actually get a conversation with someone. Like, it makes me miss that. If there was
it's not Chad, it's the Chad. I'm the Chad.
The biggest chin, the most masculine features gifted to me via genetics. But no, it makes me miss those interactions, because at least you could say something about it. There is no system in place where I can go into like Twitch and say, "Hey, my mate got banned. This is bullshit. Please fix it." Like, we tried, as Spermazus will tell you, we tried. I tried to send emails. We went on Facebook posts. I went on to Twitter. We went everywhere to try to get his thing resolved, and never a conversation back. And it's purely because they just don't give a shit. And no offense to him, because I love him and he's lovely, but he's nobody in the scheme of things to them. Like, he's and that, as an affiliate, you shouldn't feel that way. As a creator, you shouldn't feel that way. Like, but being you tried in a court of judgment based on how much money you make. Like, how much money you make for the platform, how many subscribers you have, how many followers you have, how much influence on the world you have to come back and talk shit and have people listen. Because I guarantee you, if he had 100,000 people on his Twitter, there's no way he would have been unbanned the day after. If he had 100,000 people on there and he posted about it and there was like 500 reactions on the post, like within an hour, no chance in hell. But done. The conversation wouldn't have been over. They would have said sorry, and he probably would have got given a jacket or something for it. Like in pure earnest, that is what it is worth. It is worth the amount of money that you make for them, and it is worth the clout that you can get them. And all of the processes you explained when it comes to being able to report a problem, everything that you explained that you can do on Twitch's end, it only benefits Twitch. So reporting a problem to fix their website, reporting a problem to fix their community and stop their community standards from being violated. Nowhere in that report a problem does it say save a person. Nowhere in that problem does it say, help somebody who needs it. It's help us make our platform better for you, which is bullshit, the last part. Like, it's not about providing a safe place for us. It's about creating an element which they can continue to push money out and make this clout chasers grow and get them more subscriptions. Because as someone who has a decent viewership in myself, compared to a lot of people, I think I'm sitting rather high in the percentage of viewers per versus, followers and all that kind of stuff. We've done the analytics before in a previous Streamaholics episode. But as someone who has a little bit of a community that can really, have a voice, it still doesn't make a difference. Like it doesn't make a difference at all. Like, and at the same time, the second I do something a little bit outside of their rules, I'm in trouble. Like they are so strict on the shit that I can't do. They're so strict on the shit that we collectively can't do. But the second that we call them out on it, we don't get a response. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like,
it makes sense from the point of view. So I'm going to take my bat and ball and go home.
Yeah. I have had in the past 3 weeks, if I was monetized on YouTube now, I would have left the platform and I would be streaming on Twitch twice a week at best, just to keep my community and hang out with my homies and have a good time. I reckon I would be gone, is what I'm saying. And it's only been because of the pure disrespect that comes from this. Like, because they don't give a shit. They don't, even me making enough money to kind of survive for my family on a month-to-month basis, they don't give a shit. They don't. If my account, like I said before, if my account went today, I would lose that. I would lose the facility to feed my family for the next month. But that doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter at all. And what matters is the ones who make 15 times that, 30 times that. That's the ones they care about. And it's never going to change. And that sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. And it doesn't just affect one person. This affects the community. Like, this affects everyone who is not your silver spoon 1% of the community. Because you can't get your ban reversed. Like, you can't. Unless you lick a microphone ear, you fart in the microphone, and then you can get your ban reversed. As long as you wear a bikini and you do it in a hot tub, it's fine. They changed the landscape of Twitch to suit these people. They gave them a category to piss them off just chatting. They actually gave them their own category because it was such a big problem, but also just low key, it made them so much goddamn money that of course they weren't going to get rid of it. Like, there's no way they were going to get rid of it. But what they've done inadvertently in giving them their own category is they've pissed them all off anyway, because people weren't watching just chatting streams, or they weren't watching the pool streams intentionally. They were going to the front page and they were looking at just chatting, and then they were seeing like, oh, this chick, she's got no clothes on. That's pretty sexy, am I right? And they'd go there, and that's kind of how the interaction would begin. And that was always my complaint, because people, wait, do I have one of them here? Ah, shit, it's not as funny without it. Damn it. Oh, wait, I do. Oh, no, but actually, all of the chicks with their sexy boobs, they're taking away my stream. They're taking away from my stream. What will I do with my neck beard? They're taking my viewers away. It's the worst. And that's really what it would have come down to. A bunch of miladies who got mad because all of a sudden they thought that gamers were getting less on the front page because of all the booby streamers, but that's not it. They were never taking your audience, and the proof of that is the fact that now that they've got their own category, no one watches the shit anymore. Like that's the proof of it.
Yeah, it's such a. It really is neckbeardy. Like this, the stuff that they're doing, you could do if you wanted to, but nobody's going to want to watch. Well, so I could do if I wanted to. If you did it, I'm sure as a good looking man yourself, you get lots. Like there was already a comment further up in the chat about you I think Sperm of Zeus wanting to see your sexy body. But yeah, people don't want to see me. There's like a small growth forest on there. It's not pretty. But yeah, it's just such a backward sort of a system. And I think a lot of what we've been talking about here tonight leads into a question that we've gotten from our Goa subscribers for tonight. So for those of you who don't know, we have a membership here at Goa for $11 a month. You can join us, get a special Discord channel that only you guys are in with the Goa crew. You can have a chat with us. You can ask us questions. We do also have special discounts that you can get for certain things from the Lenovo. Get into things like the GeForce Now beta that we were talking about earlier. Yes. And one of the things we also do is it's a place where we can ask you questions for stuff like Streamaholics or like our weekly podcast that we do with Pete and Dan, our founders. Yep. They ask questions in there, and yeah, so that's something you can join. And tonight we have a question from Gamma who asks, is there anything you would like to see added on Twitch that could be handy for streamers? And after that conversation, better appealing tools, but better tools system. Yeah, better tools so that you can appeal bands, you can do things and talk to a person rather than just nothing, like yelling into the wind sort of thing. And I would go another step further as well, because I don't know what Twitch does with accounts that get banned from chats. So yeah. I would like a way for streamers to be able to report users.
Yes.
So that
it should be the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really good idea.
I like that, because usually it's like the users being able to report, or the viewers being able to report the streamer if something goes wrong. But if a viewer comes in and they're being abusive and all that sort of stuff, I would like to be able to report them and say, this is not on. Why this guy's being racist or homophobic or whatever.
Yeah.
And all you can do is time them out or ban them from the channel.
Yeah.
I would much rather be able to report them, and if they get enough reports, and also have it in the mod tools so that mods can also report them if
like a flagging system. Like say it was not like 2 or 3. I'm talking like once you have your cup is a certain amount of full of people just constantly saying, no, this person in this chat is disruptive. This person in this chat is racist, bigoted, whatever it might be. Once you've ticked a certain amount of boxes, get out. Like, and not just like, because you can ban accounts, they just make another one. Like, there should be a way to hold them accountable. IP bans, they're definitely a thing that can be done. Like,
do you know what? There's a guy, because I spent a lot of time in Mario communities, so Mario Maker and Mario ROM hacks. There is a well-known serial pest called Man of Steel. Yeah. And anybody that's streaming Mario, he will come in and just annoy the shit out of everybody, to the point where somebody has written a bot that will automatically ban him, because he always comes back with some variation of Man of Steel as his name.
Yeah.
So the bot will just automatically ban him.
Yeah.
But, and like there's petitions on the Twitch page, and
Yeah,
and
wow.
also like that's been going for years.
Yeah.
And Twitch hasn't done anything. Like I'm subscribed to it, and like every now and then, still people are posting on that petition going, "Get rid of him. He's a dickhead." And
Yeah.
it's just, but being able to do something about them, and like because that would be one where all the Mario streamers would be reporting this asshole, and being able to do that would then get him off get him off Twitch, so he's not
Look,
doing that sort of
IP
shit anymore.
they only go so far anyway, as you know, working in
Mm,
IT yourself. An IP ban will only go so far. A
yeah.
good VPN will get you sorted.
Mm,
But there's still the effort involved in having to do that it's enough to deter your average shithead troll.
mm,
Like, so even if they get back in, chances are they're at least a little bit more wary when they come back. So it's a thing. Is this? Yes, that is a great idea. Like me as a streamer, also my mods, because obviously when you're streaming, the last thing I want to do is to say, all right, so stop, just let's stop the stream for a second. We've got Captain Dickhead here, and we need to deal with you first. Like the last thing you need is doing that mid-stream. Like you hate that. Anytime
yeah.
that happens on stream, that's why my mods do the shit for me. Bestia, for all intensive purposes, is those eyes for me when I'm streaming. 90% of the time, I don't even see what was said until afterwards in my moderator chat on Discord. I'll go in there and I was like, so what happened? I saw such and such was banned by Bestia. And he's like, oh, well, he said all this racist stuff, but you didn't see it and it was gone. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you don't, as a streamer, the last thing you want is there are two things you hate as a streamer. Number one is someone coming in the chat being a dickhead. And number two is someone coming into the chat and then PMing you on your Twitch whilst you're streaming. Like, I hate that so much. Like a DM, a private message whilst I'm streaming. Nah, I hate it.
Yep.
Like, because it comes up, it disrupts me, and they're like, "Oh, check Discord, bro." That's even worse. I'm like, "No, I'm not checking Discord. I am streaming. This is my job. Shut up. I'll get it when I'm finished."
Mm,
Like those things, they are the worst.
yep.
So being able to have a mod who can just go, "No, boop, boop," report thing. Not even a kick, not even a ban. You know, maybe it is a ban. Maybe it's after X amount of bans and after X amount of reports done. Awesome. Like, but yeah, there's no way to stop any of that because there's nothing in place for it. Because again, every report button, it only serves Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
It only serves to improve Twitch, not to improve my stream, not to improve my community or my chat, and not to make me a safer player on this space. It's to protect them. Um, and that's where the issue therein lies across the board with pretty much everything we've spoken about today.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be great if there was a system to block a raider. Like one thing I hate is getting subscriptions to people who I legitimately hate. There are a couple of people on this platform who tried to deplatform me a very long time ago, and I often get gifted subs to those people because they'll get like a bunch of subscriptions or whatever given, and then my one will be one that comes through, and I automatically go and I remove the subscription. And I'm like, I don't want to interact with this person, Twitch. I have them blocked on the platform. Why am I still getting gifted subs to their channel? Like, that makes no sense. And you can't stop it either. I have friends who have been victims of domestic abuse who get gifted subscriptions to the abuser's channel. So every couple of months, they get to have this moment where they get to relive the horrible circumstances of their life because Twitch can't get its act together and ban mean ban or block means block. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's stupid. It's
Yeah.
really, really dumb. And it doesn't serve anyone but the platform. Like, and that sucks. Like, it stinks. So for you, I agree. That is a really great interaction. The other thing, a live chat. You know what? Let me say it right now. Twitch, you don't listen, you don't watch, but if by some miracle you are, I'll cover 12 hours of this a day. I will stop streaming. I will do it my full-time job. I'll be the live chat. Give me the authority to do it. I'll do it for you. All right? I'll find someone else. They can do the other 12 hours. It's okay because you need a live chat. You need to be able to talk to these people. You need to be able to have these conversations back and forth because we have things we need to say. You know, we have questions. We questions you can't find on a shit knowledge base. Like that knowledge base too. My God, sometimes it points back to the same article on 50 different problems and none of the answers are resolved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to. Oh, the thing is, and you'll know this working in IT as well. The more you irritate someone, and the more you annoy them, the less chance they will actually further investigate. If you give them a bunch of like run around answers, they will eventually get tired, and rather than find a way into the circle, they will just stop. They'll just exhaust themselves, and they'll just stop. You know, it's rough. It's rough out here. You know, I know I sound like this horrible person for complaining about it because they are essentially giving us a free platform in which we can then make money for them and for us.
No. See, I always say if you're getting something for free, especially on the internet, the thing that's being sold is you. Yeah. And Twitch, and being here on the platform, Twitch is selling us. If you're on Facebook, you're being sold to generate ad revenue. Same on Twitter and all that sort of places. So they can be offering the service for free, but what they are selling is us here.
Yeah, well, we did have this argument last week as well. We had this argument last week about ads.
I feel very passionate about it because companies don't care about people. People care about people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like we were talking about the same thing, even though it's kind of the opposite stance from last week to this week, because when it comes to ads, I was of the mindset that, ads probably cost a lot more than we're getting paid. Because Twitch is taking obviously a larger amount of that on the back end anyway. So why are we not getting more money out of Twitch in general? And you know, that's a whole different story that we already covered. But it is, you're right, and it is a principle that was brought to me by my old man, and he said that a person is smart and people are stupid.
Yes.
And like, that's 100% true, because one person is real smart, but you put a whole bunch of them together and they're a bunch of idiots. And when it comes to corporations versus company versus people, it's the same thing. You know, one person in a company, like a live chat person, they will care about you, but overall, from a company perspective, you mean nothing.
Yeah.
And we're in a situation with Twitch right now in 2021 where we don't get that person to talk to, so we just mean nothing. Unless you have like $100,000 a month you're making, unless you have 4,000 people in your chat, you don't matter. And that kind of stinks. So yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to cover when it comes to that side of things.
So now we've solved all of Twitch's problems. What are we doing?
Yeah. What else would you like, guys? Is there anything else you want to talk? Is there a way? Can we stop like global warming? Is that next?
I think we can move to nuclear disarmament next. Yeah.
Okay, let's start at the Vatican.
All right, no worries.
All right, so guys, that is pretty much all we have to cover, I think, as far as this goes. I don't think we have any more questions from the Goa members.
No, that was the question for tonight. So that was good. And don't forget, if you join the Goa membership program, you too can ask us questions, because you know
there is a button, we definitely don't for that.
There is Goa members. Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah. Because, you know, we don't talk to chat at all here. We are very straight down the line, and we're in our lanes, and we don't talk to chat at all.
Honestly, you can't put me in this situation. I can't do it. I've tried for like, what week are we up to? 15. I've tried for so long not to talk to chat, and I've done a really good job of it. And a little conversation here or there, I will go mad. I can't see this thing scroll and not go mad a little bit. But that being said, thank you guys for being here. Now, the real questions. Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me here at Goa, of course. Every Wednesday night, I do the Nuts and Bolts Esports show with Natty WW. I also stream under my own Twitch channel, Straight Jacket Gym, spelt like you can see below me, that I definitely haven't just put over the top of Lukey stuff. I
didn't notice that.
No.
Put a bloody shadow or something.
No.
I'm gonna send you some stuff after this. Have you got Stream FX, the plugin? You need it.
Yeah. And also on Twitter under Straight Jacket Gym as well. But
yeah.
And where can we find you, Mr. The Warship?
Okay, so on weekends I stream on YouTube. So on Sundays, I stream on YouTube, which you can find me at youtube.com/The Warship. I am also moving to a lot of other content on that platform too. I'm at like 386 subscribers right now. I would desperately love to hit 1,000 so I can start to make it more of my job and less of my job being here. But that being said, I am on Twitch 5 nights a week. Sundays is my YouTube day, so it's actually 4 now, except Streamaholics is my Friday, so it's still 5. Monday to Friday, let's just go with that. I didn't just think that up as I was talking at all. It was definitely something I knew before I said that. But yes,
well planned out and thought of show right here. Yeah.
So it's from Monday to Thursday, I am on twitch.tv/The Warship, and on Friday, I am here on Goa. And yeah, outside of that, you can find me everywhere else across all social media at The Warship, except for stupid goddamn dumb shit Twitter, where you can find me at _Warship, because they simply refuse to make me a happy boy.
Just quietly on that, because for years, like Game On Aus is 4 or 5 years old now. And when we started up, there was already a Game On Aus Twitter account. And so we were Game On _Aus for so long. And we've been trying to get in touch with the guy that owned the account. And we finally got there. And like in the last month, we are now Game On Aus on Twitter as well. It's
so just good.
But he eventually got in touch with us, because we and said, oh yeah, I don't use it. I hadn't posted for like 3 years. It's just like, oh yeah, you guys can have it, sure. But
that's nice.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Now, the person who has mine is like a lady who forgets her login and she can't get back in. So, yeah, it's the worst. There's literally no way around it. Because, again, Twitter doesn't have a live chat or a way to contact Twitter. So maybe we get verified Warship first, and then we go from there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming through. You have been watching Streamaholics. I'm a Streamaholic. Are you sticking around after this there, gents?
No, I'm going to finish up for tonight. I was going to play some more Metroid.
Camera's gone.
Hang on. There it is. It's good again.
We've got to fix it before the end, surely.
Sure. Yeah, it's come good now. It's all right. Don't panic, everybody. Don't panic.
Yes. Okay, so you're not going to be on there?
No, I was going to, but I'm a bit tired, so I think I'm just going to finish up here now. But thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Warship, for allowing me on the show again. And we will see you when we see you next.
I'm a Streamaholic, you're a Streamaholic, and now everybody in the chat, you're Streamaholics too. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Wow, I hope you enjoyed that show. And if you want to make sure that you stay up to date with everything that Game On Aus has to offer here on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button. That's the best way